Hey,
Ew, ew,
welcome
ew.
in. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. This this mask is insane. It's like so hard to breathe through this mask.
It's
That
actually just a giant piece of plastic, is all it is.
well, look at my glasses. You see the fog effect that this has?
Man, that
Oh,
dog just right on cue. Right when you started the intro music, the dog started barking.
oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, God.
Sweet relief. You bastard.
Welcome in, everyone. I was feeling patriotic. Do make sure to get out there and vote. I don't care who you
Yep.
vote for.
Yep. Just
Uh,
vote.
let's rock it, or
Vote
else
or die.
P Diddy will show up at your house, and some bad
And
stuff's
kill
gonna
you.
happen. Yeah,
Yes.
vote or die. I mean, he was pretty clear about that. He told me to mention that.
Yeah.
Hope you guys had a good and safe weekend, as we are really kind of sliding into the period where it's going to be mostly football.
Mm-hmm.
Premier League soccer around the world still going, and fights here and
Fight's
there. But
always going. Yeah.
NASCAR winding down. We'll get into that, and pretty fun weekend of football. I did was just watch Red Zone
Yeah.
all day, and then the stunner last night, the classic battle that we will
Whoo,
also
what a
touch
game.
on,
What a
and
game.
of course we did college football, some notable games out there as
Mm-hmm.
well. Tyler, how was your weekend? How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. Definitely enjoyed just kind of a sports filled weekend. Like you said, it's you mentioned it last week. It's just kind of the reality of like, man, like we're not going to have anything to the week. Thankfully this week, we'll touch on it more, but we are going to have action on Wednesday. Thank God for that.
Yes, action.
But yeah, we're used to having like a basketball or baseball or hockey kind of all day during the week, and now it's like, man, unless there's an NFL game scheduled or action, like Monday through Friday is pretty bare. So we'll see how we go from there. But Ronnie, how was your weekend?
It was good. I just watched a lot of sports. I actually golfed on Halloween,
Ooh,
Golfoween, whatever you want to say.
nice.
Um, my wife, producer Tanaya, was in New Orleans for a wedding, so
Doing some work,
was
doing business on the show's end.
yeah, exactly. Negotiating some, brokering some huge deals for us,
Yeah,
hopefully, with the Nolia clap people.
right.
Uh, but no, I just was like, I'm not really gonna do anything for Halloween. I'm definitely not gonna wear a costume if I'm just hanging out by myself. So
Yeah,
might be nice and not crowded to hit up Mission Bay, where they got lights, where you can golf there under the lights. So
beautiful,
it's
beautiful.
very spooky, but didn't lose too many golf balls. That's a fun track out there. It's short. It's mostly like par threes, but there's probably 4 or 5 par fours.
Hmm.
And it was a good time. Good walk spoiled, as always. And then
Nice.
yesterday, just nonstop football.
Yep.
Had Red Zone on all day. Thank you, Tyler Sling.
Yep.
And furiously checking my fantasy scores. It's two big rivalry games this weekend for me. As you can see, that's the bold, bright red damn it is in reference to Tyler and I getting together.
Yeah, buddy.
Throw out the record books when we go at it. And last time I saw the score, it wasn't looking too good for me. This was the preview. This was the preview.
It's
I'll get it. I'll get it.
it's 95-82 in favor of me.
Yeah, it's not really looking like it's coming through for me. But I got the score coming up here. A couple things I wanted to hit on with this. I did have probably like 30 points left on my bench, so no one to blame but myself in that regard. And yeah, Ronald Jones just not doing it. I was glad to see Claypool not go negative for 2 weeks in a row, because
He was negative for so long.
the threat of that was very real. A wide receiver negative 2 weeks in a row. It's awesome. But he did score a touchdown, so I ain't mad at you, playa.
Yeah.
But if you see down there, actually, let me just remove the banner for a second. Philadelphia defense.
Ooh, boy.
I still enjoyed the game last night. Tyler and I were talking about this yesterday, during, and even before the show. Bad football is better than no football, for one.
Yes.
And it's also better than boring football. I mean,
Absolutely.
I was more into that game than, like, are you okay? Yes, the Chiefs are an exciting team, but playing the Jets. Like, I would watch this game any day of the week over the Chiefs playing the Jets.
100%.
And plus, every game in the NFC East, as we have discussed,
It
playoff
matters.
implications.
Matters
Ben
so much.
DiNucci out there slinging the rock. Carson Wentz out there hanging onto the ball too long.
Oh, God.
Everyone's hurt. It was exciting, but the killer there, as you see the 20 points, was there was just so much damn time left for the Cowboys to keep giving away fantasy points. Oh, they had a touchdown, the Eagles defense, sack, safety.
Yep.
It just it really spiraled there, and that was the turn. That was the turn for me. And we showed you, sort of where it's at right now. 10% chance.
Still
Keep
there.
hope alive.
Yep.
Let's go. Big Ron Jones.
Actually, it's down to 3% now.
All right, this was a little bit before the show, but I'm trying to be optimistic here.
Sure.
But in reference to my sign as well, let's see if I have this one in here. Do I not have that one either? I did play Tony Gwynn Jr. this week,
Nice.
and we had been going, back and forth a little bit because he had a lot of Laker-related posts on his Instagram during their championship run, and I am, obviously a Laker fan as well. But as is, of course, like it's the talk had turned towards I'm gonna beat that ass when we play. And I got him.
Yeah, buddy.
Boom. Got him right there. That's
Ooh, yeah.
going to be
Healthy
6
win.
straight wins. I started 0-2, and I've won 6 games in a row. So
Nice.
I am sort of stuck behind a roadblock. This league plays the same division situation like our league, where only the top 2 teams get in. Although I think I may have a tiebreaker against Greg because I beat him head-to-head, but his team really, hit its stride after that, and he's scoring, a ton of points. It's PPR also.
Well, usually in fantasy football, they do points for as the first tiebreaker.
Yeah, I'll have to see in the morning whenever the standings come out because I know he's going to win. And then Chris Ello's nephew, the mysterious Chris Ello's nephew in Denver.
AKA Chris Ello's second team.
Yeah, I don't know. Or his wife's second team. His wife's in the league too. Just got a roadblock on spots 1 and 2, so I cannot get in there. But we just got to keep winning. We get on that bus, like Herm says.
There you go.
Let's hit the comments real quick. We got Nick checking in. Giants may have Brady's number. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Well, I just read it, so you probably just jinxed it. But that did turn out to be, and I haven't seen the score. I saw it when I went inside. I used the restroom right before the show, but it was 15-17, I think.
Yeah, the Giants had just retaken the lead before we got on air.
Oh, nice. All right. So, yeah, keep hope alive. Danny Dimes, baby. Danny Dimes. And Giants, you're still not out of it. Hey.
That's true. Yeah. You win this, you're only you win this, you're like a half game back. Like you're
might be
right
in
there.
The playoffs with a home game if you win 5 games. Because I've never seen anything like it. That division. All right. Let's first of all, shout out to Jordan checking in as well. Who's your daddy? Giants to Brady. Yeah.
True.
This has been a lot more watchable than I thought it was going to be.
Totally.
Which I did have some, fantasy writing on it. I know it came down for me and Tyler. It was like between the 2 running backs, and I have Suckup, the kicker. But that Philadelphia surge at the end really kind of put that thing out of reach for me.
Yeah, when they got that touchdown, I was like, oh, thank God. I feel finally some relief here.
But let's just dive into the weekend slate here. New England at Buffalo. I mean, New England's definitely rebuilding. Cam looks pretty washed up, but they only paid $1 million for him. Sure. I doubt that he's going to be back there next year. He'll still be in the league for someone, but I just don't see that sticking around, especially if trends continue. And who knows where they end up in the draft? The Patriots. Belichick is always making moves out there. So, Trevor, who knows? But a nice win for the Bills because, as everyone knows, the Patriots have had a stranglehold on that division, sort of lording over them. The Bills have been resurgent in the last 2 to 3 years. They're going to easily kind of run away with that. But, shout out to my Dolphins, too, in a second. Hanging tough. Tennessee at Cincinnati. Nice little upset right there.
Yeah.
Shout out to the kid.
Yeah.
Joey B.
I was screaming all morning at that game because it's like Cincinnati gave up like 8,000 rushing yards to Cleveland, and Derrick Henry took so long to get going in that game. So I was, a little mad on that part just for fantasy purposes. But yeah, Cincinnati looking. Look, they've been in most of their, like, they aren't winning a lot of their games, but they've been in most of the games, and a lot of that is just, man, Joe Burrow is just balling out. Like
Burrow is throwing
he's
up
the real deal.
numbers.
Yeah, so
And
definitely.
I'm going to be honest. When Mixon's hurt right now, so I was like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
they still have Gio Bernard. It's been there forever.
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
And he's playing pretty well. I mean, a
Doing
lot
the
of
most
fantasy
with the-
owners have
Yeah.
swooped up on this guy. He's having a good little run right now as the new starter over there.
Definitely.
Oh well, I gotta check on Cease here. I'll get you in the comments, Cease.
We're not going to talk Bryce Mitchell tonight, so don't worry, Cease. It's fine. Of course, we're going to talk Bryce Mitchell.
Hold on, let me do that real quick. Tyler, if you want to run through the next couple here while I get
yeah.
so
there you go. A not so exciting, but I'm sure you will still take it. Win for your Raiders against the Browns. That was some wild ass weather in that game. I don't know if you saw.
It was a little sloppy.
Yeah, on red zone, seeing that first field goal attempt by Vegas, where he kicked it down the middle, and then the wind just smashed it hard to the left. That was some wild weather they had going on. But look, Vegas, they overcame it. They wound up getting the win against a previously pretty hot Cleveland team. So got to be happy about that if you're a Raiders fan.
Hey, it's a 5-2 team. I'm not throwing it back. To use parlance from the fishing world, shout out to Cease, our fishing insider, as you can see there in the profile.
There you go.
But I will take it, and it's still, an outside chance, maybe like a wild card. No one's going to catch the Chiefs, but the Raiders beat them.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Respect it. Also, sorry, not sorry, Dale. It was civil when I was over there watching the Thursday night game last week. There wasn't really any kind of challenge laid down. I haven't got to see the today's episode of What's on the Menu, but
he was not well. Well, neither of them were very well, but I was not happy about that.
Also, I will give a huge shout out to Dale's Halloween costume. You're just gonna have to go research that on your own, but it was great. It's pretty great.
Yeah, so now just going down the line here, big shock today was Minnesota just running all over Green Bay. Dalvin Cook with 4 touchdowns.
Have a day, Dalvin Cook.
Green Bay just had no answer for him. They kind of responded to the second half. Devontae Adams getting 3 touchdowns for the Packers, but it just wasn't enough. Minnesota with the bit, at the beginning of the year, I think we both kind of had it pegged as this division is going to be Minnesota versus Green Bay. Minnesota's been bad for most of the year, but they finally kind of showed up yesterday, beating the top team of the division. So, maybe things turn around for Minnesota. I don't know. There's still enough time to make a bit of a run.
Still time. I mean, they have talented players. The defense just hasn't been like what the Minnesota defense usually is. They got the whole secondary is pretty young and sort of inexperienced, but I'm never sad to see Aaron Rodgers lose. And that is a rivalry game, so it's just one of those forever going rivalries that goes back to before time.
Yeah, all those NFC North are just rivalries from so long ago.
But nice win there. I didn't see what he got fantasy wise, but I'm sure it was incredible. So shout out to anyone that owned Dalvin Cook in fantasy.
It was, at least in the league that I went up against him, it was 53 points.
Woo! Was that PPR?
No.
Oh man.
No, woo! That's that one result pretty much cost me a burrito in that league. It's the typical side burrito bet in that league. But going down the list again, Kansas City covering the spread and getting the win, covering that 19.5 spread that it was by kickoff. We kind of touched on it earlier in the year. The Chiefs, ran it up on the Jets. Not a very exciting game. Pretty much just kind of exactly what you would expect. The Jets were kind of hanging in there, I guess, for the first half, and then Kansas City just
I think
blew up. And
they had a lead maybe at the end of the first quarter. I'm not sure, but when I saw it on Red Zone, first of all, I was like, oh, this is on Red Zone, and the Jets have the ball.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect that, but they were, hanging around. But man, Tyler and I were talking a little bit last night about that. It's just I don't have the. I'll see if I can grab the tweet that you sent me.
The tweet about Adam Gase. Yeah.
Yeah. But
saying
man,
I'm not here to lose games. Well, he could
it
have
was
fooled
something
or
like, I'm
whatever it
not
was he
here to get
said.
my
Yeah,
face kicked in. I'm here to try to win.
he could have fooled
And
me, man.
dude, I don't like. It's so weird for the Jets because, first of all, the players they have just aren't that good. Like, let's just face it, the team is not good.
Right.
So it's not really going to get any better with a different head coach. But if you're a Jets fan, like, you just gotta hate this guy. Like, what is the deal with Adam Gase? He's like doing the Lane Kiffin career path of just failing upward.
I actually did see a pretty funny. I think it was a Reddit post. I don't think it was a tweet, but it was a Reddit post of somebody pointing out that the highest paid player for the Jets on the field in that game yesterday was Le'Veon Bell, who was not playing for the Jets.
Yeah, and
Which,
definitely he was getting some more touches for the Chiefs.
Yeah. So
Which,
that tells
watch out, Edwards-Helaire owners. I mean, he's still
he'll
viable,
be fine. I'm not worried about that. He'll be fine.
I'm not wanting to see this because I have neither of them. But
Yeah.
I know people were banking on that Le'Veon or like holding him, stashing him, and hopefully that doesn't turn into some kind of timeshare. But he is definitely a better pass catcher. I mean, Edwards-Helaire is like 4 feet tall, so
Right.
that's got short arms.
Yeah.
You're not going to be throwing the ball down the field to him.
We got next down the line there. We got the Tua successful in his. There, well, just
shout out to
Tua.
Tua.
Put it out there. Just put it out there. Jets stink. But yeah, so Tua goes out there, doesn't really play well, but they didn't need him to. The Miami defense, who's been quietly pretty good, just absolutely shut down Goff. And I thought I saw he had 61 pass attempts. Like, there's not an NFL offense that is made to be successful if your quarterback has thrown 61.
No,
let alone the Rams, who would kind of like that perfect balance if they could of even runs and passes.
Again, Jared Goff is a suitable.
He's fine.
Quarterback.
He's fine. Yeah.
He's not the problem, but you don't want Jared Goff throwing 61 times. Like,
no.
And they were all over him. I know I had the Rams defense against Tyler in fantasy. They got the strip sack right at the beginning. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
But then the Dolphins from then on out just pretty much beat the crap out of Jared Goff. And I had Jared Goff going against Tony Gwynn. So I was like, dude, this is not good. I think it was -4 or something at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
He bounced back. He did get a touchdown. I think he ended up with 10 points or something like that. Enough for me to win. So I'll take it. But, yeah, nice for Tua to get his win there in his debut.
Yeah, definitely.
And I kind of get – I mean, it was weird just because you think, the Dolphins, with Fitzpatrick back there, Fitzmagic, they are what they are. They're decent, but it's not – you don't have to go make that change. But –
right.
If you're the Dolphins, the reason I kind of get it is let's see him now. Let's not have this guy and then we run him out, we sit him all year, and then now he's we're sort of bringing him in next year. Then you're already 2 years, 3 years in, and if it doesn't work out, or if he has some kind of injury problems or whatever, then you're kind of screwed. So I get it, getting a look at him, and like you said, he didn't really blow you away, but had a good efficient game, and the defense.
They didn't need him to be great. That was actually kind of the perfect storm where it's he was, I think, 12 of 22 for 92 yards. Nothing to ever write home about. But again, you didn't need him to have to make the plays. And I think that's kind of ideally what they would have wanted out of that game was okay, let's just set him up to where he doesn't have to make that last second drive, that second half comeback. So, I think all in all, Miami would take that.
Shout out to his little bro, also getting his first win as a Maryland quarterback. But anytime I have an excuse to play this, I'm going to play it.
Tua Tagovailoa.
So good looks on the Tagliavoa brothers this weekend. Nice weekend for the family. This was probably the marquee game going into the weekend. And, I mean, based on how close it was, you have to say it really lived up to the hype. Again, like we talked about going in, Baltimore's still kind of looking for that signature win. That really it's we're for real. Obviously, they're one of the better teams out there, but they haven't really beat anyone that's put our stamp on it. This is a team going deep in the playoffs. And, the Steelers, I hate the Steelers. Sorry, Sarah, but they showed up. They came back in the second half and went to work. It did, Ben didn't really look great in the first half. They took care of business. And man, there was a run too that Jackson had that was like incredible. That was called back for
They
holding.
got called back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the one you were talking about.
But
Yeah,
that guy's just a beast.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh's defense came out. They made Lamar throw some picks. Like the defense really showed up, and that's just kind of what Pittsburgh's done all year. Like they don't blow you away, but they do enough to win. And like if you just do that every week, like look, it's going to result in stuff. Like if you're winning and not looking amazing, it's still fine. You're still winning, and they're winning tough games. They're not beating a bunch of scrubs. So I mean, Pittsburgh, you definitely got to watch out for them. Again, Baltimore. Look, they could play. Like, they're going to play again later this year. It could easily be the exact opposite where Baltimore comes out and beats Pittsburgh. Like I could totally see it. Baltimore is that good. They just haven't put it together, like you said, against those top tier teams, against the Kansas Cities, against the Pittsburghs. It's just something missing where they're kind of just missing out on that. But they
just
could
that
easily
one
find
marquee win. Like okay, man, okay, these guys are legit.
Yeah. So no, that was definitely a fun game to watch for sure.
Now, sorry, Tyler.
I knew this was coming. It's all right.
And Jordan.
It's all right.
That takes us to the Chargers. One point, I believe they had a 24-3 lead.
Yeah.
Believe that was in the third quarter, or towards the end of the third quarter, even.
Is in the third quarter, yeah.
Yeah. Then you see the score there, 31-30. The Broncos tied the game with 0 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Nice catch in the end zone, but man, just kind of the same old Chargers there.
Yeah. I think that's been the funniest thing to me is looking at this. People have asked me about it, and I'm like, why am I mad? Like, this is what has been happening all year. Like I've said, I was not at all surprised. I expected this to happen because Anthony Lynn seems like a great dude, like stand-up guy, but he is not a head coach. Like once they get that lead in the second half, offense and defense goes super conservative.
Yeah.
I was telling Ryan beforehand, like I'm looking on Reddit. I myself am telling in my head, I'm saying what Anthony Lynn's going to do on offense. I'm looking on Reddit. People on Reddit are calling it first down, inside run, second down, inside run, third down, medium pass. If Joe Schmoes like me can tell you what he's going to do on offense, NFL defensive coordinators damn sure can tell you what he's going to do on offense. And then on their defense, they go into this soft coverage. Hey, yeah, sure, we'll allow these, let's forget that everything we've been doing has been working. Let's just, back off of them, give them these short passes. You do that for an entire second half, and that's going to happen. And it's been happening. And Anthony Lynn, after every game, is like, this is on me. I can't allow that. Well, you haven't changed a fucking thing in 3 years. Like, what do you mean? Of course it's on you. So, to answer your question, Will, I know you, and we kind of had a little back and forth on Twitter about it yesterday. Should he be fired? Yeah. I mean, obviously there's something wrong there, but I don't think Spanos gives a shit enough about the team to fire him. He's just – all he cares about is how much can I sell this team for in the future. That's why they moved to L.A. because, look, let's not kid ourselves. L.A. Chargers sells for more than San Diego Chargers. That's just the facts.
Just the value of the franchise.
All Spanos cares about is how much can I sell this for. So he'll keep Anthony Lynn there. He doesn't give a fuck. Like all he's worried about is eventually selling his team in a couple of years. Maybe they fire Lynn at the end of the year. Maybe if there's enough uproar, but I don't think Spanos. Again, I just don't think he cares enough.
I'm throwing it out there now. Hire Antonio Gates, head coach. Appease the fans.
Hey,
yes, give them what they want.
There we
Charger
go.
Legend.
There we go. Hire. Yeah, it's just again, I've seen a lot of just kind of surprise on Twitter, on Reddit, and everywhere about this. And it's like, look, this is what the Chargers have been doing for the last few years. Like, if you're surprised, you just haven't been paying attention because this is what they do. Like, I think this was the fifth game in a row where they've had a 17-point lead. They blew it. Just fortunately against the Jags, they pulled out a win. It's just leading up towards that. Oh boy, that Week 14 battle. Week 14. Falcons at the Chargers. Who is going to blow it harder?
Oh, man. I hope one of them's going to have like a 30-point lead in the third quarter, and I hope it ends in a tie. Like, that would be amazing.
You know what? I look, we've said before, I'm kind of all for the NFL ties. Like, fuck it. Give me like the worst case scenario. Give me the ties. Give me the biggest shit show you can give me. And I'm all for that.
That takes us over to the next game. The New Orleans-Chicago game, the last of the afternoon games. And I was hoping for, Kamara had a good game.
Not the last of the afternoon. Well, I guess it went the longest because it went overtime.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, I was texting Will in the radio station group chat too. I was like, I'm just rooting for a tie. Like, I'm not really married to either of these teams. Unless Kamara gets a touchdown, I don't care. But the Saints, they came back. I know Tyler and I were kind of talking about this yesterday too. They're good. They're just kind of boring. I mean, Drew Brees looks definitely looking his age these days. Still haven't got to see Thomas get out there, so that could help a lot.
He's still out there fighting, having Fight Club in practice.
One reason or another. Speaking of Fight Club, that game.
Oh boy!
Javon Wims. Another classic. Why would you punch someone with a helmet on?
And he did it twice.
He was mad. But I will never understand why you would punch someone wearing a helmet.
What? So before he threw the punch, he reached out with his left. Was he grabbing the mouthpiece or the chain, or like he grabbed something with his left hand, and then threw a punch with the right? The Saints defensive back kind of stood there and looked to the sideline like, wait, did this fool really just punch me? And then he punched him again, and then that's kind of when the real scuttle broke out. But punching a guy with the helmet, not the brightest thing in the world to do.
I wasn't playing in the game. I was playing the game afterwards, but I was there for in my youth hockey days. And Tyler, I'm just a friend of the program. I'm sure he doesn't even know I exist, but Patrick Hood.
Oh yeah, Pat Hood. Oh yeah.
And this kid gets on top of him and just tries to fight him, and he's punching him. But this is we're 13 years old, so you're wearing the full cage shield.
Oh yeah.
And Pat's on the ground just laughing as this kid is punching his mask. That's kind of what it is. What is the point? Obviously you're kicked out. Hopefully you don't break your hand. I mean, at least he had hockey gloves on, but
right.
It's just why? I don't know. But they did they went straight to that on Red Zone, so I did appreciate that. Thank you, Scott Hansen, also a friend of the program.
That's right. But and then of course the Saints getting the OT win. Just like you, I was rooting for the tie. Anytime I get an NFL tie, screw it, go for it. I want to see ties because ties are stupid.
If it's not my team, or it has gambling or fantasy implications for me, I'm just give me the tie.
Yeah,
it's unsatisfying for everyone except me. I just laugh.
The last afternoon game that we had was Seattle beating up on San Francisco. That score is a lot closer than the game really was.
It never felt like it was really that great.
Yeah.
I know Niners tacked on some touchdown at the end. I think they scored.
Yeah, and then of course even worse news for San Francisco. Jimmy G's going to be out for I believe I saw at least 6 weeks.
Everyone hurt again.
And Kittle's out for basically what they said the rest of the season. So tough for San Francisco. They were on a nice little win streak, but Seattle's defense actually showed up. Like I said, until the end, they kind of gave up garbage time scores. But for the most part, that was the first time Seattle's defense has showed up this year.
And then for me, of course, the game of the weekend. Yeah,
baby.
Love to see it. The Cowboys they must have run 10 trick plays in the first half.
In the first half, yeah.
It was like a high school game. It was insane.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is DiNucci back there, but it's just whoa. And then I guess the opposite in also a detrimental way, Doug Peterson always loves going for it on fourth down. Goes for it on fourth down in the middle of the field when they're leading. I'm questionable. It is the Cowboys here, and your team's not very good. Just keep the lead. If you're all right, well, it's DiNucci back there. We can stop them, which I mean they did, but not on that drive. They ended up giving up a field goal there. It's well, if DiNucci is looking shaky, imagine how shaky he would look if he was backed up on the 12-yard line.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was it was definitely an entertaining game for all the wrong reasons, but
I couldn't look away.
I was 100% into the game because we talked about it last week. We knew it was going to be bad, and bad football is better than boring football. I mean, how bad is it saying for something about Philadelphia? Their offense scored 14 points against Dallas, who gives up 87 points a game. That's just that's because again, Philly had 23 points, but you're looking at a safety and a defensive touchdown. So,
I know full well about that.
Of course, yes.
But I'm not even that mad. I'm sad that I lost. In fact, I'll just go ahead and hit myself with one right now. Ass. I'll take it. But Yeah, I was kind of like really excited for that game more than I should be. But sometimes when you see any kind of matchup like that, both teams are just like you don't even know what you're going to see. And then, of course, we had the Cowboys with every imaginable trick play they could possibly think of.
Yeah, like it was in the first half. It's like normally a team will run 10 trick play. An NFL team will run 10 trick plays like over the course of the season. Dallas did it in the first half.
Getting outside the box, trying
Like
to get my boy DiNucci cooking.
Double reverse, fake reverses, like all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, what are you guys doing, man?
Yeah, then, I texted you. There was a point where in the first half, DiNucci goes for like a weird little Mahomes sidearm throw, and it was like terribly out of bounds. And even Chris Collinsworth was just like openly laughing on the broadcast, like, "Oh boy, this is a heck of a game."
Yeah, definitely. For all the wrong reasons, it was. I think it was our game of the week. That's for sure.
Book it, Quarantine Kings game of the week. I have to come up with some kind of stamp that I can put on art.
Stone Cold Lock of the century of the week.
But actually, I got to see what the score is here. If I can see inside, looks like
27-17.
Sorry, Giants.
No,
sorry, Nick.
Excuse me, 22. Sorry, I misread that.
Oh, okay. Still a chance there. I don't know how much time is left. It's hard to see from this angle. Again, it's turned out to be more entertaining than I thought.
344 according to Yahoo.
It looks like Tom Brady has got the Bucs with the ball. So we'll see what happens to our two running backs as they probably going to run this thing out.
Right, that's true.
Rip one off, Ron. Come on.
That's all right. I'm okay with the Leonard Fournette 3-yard dive. I'm good with that.
But let's take a look at just a quick look at some of the college games over the weekend.
Okay.
Tyler, I'll defer to you. You are the fight doctor, and also I would say
again
our CFB insider, and especially due to certain results over the weekend. I'll give the floor to you here.
Well, look, again, we'll start this off. People that know me know I am a Michigan fan. Michigan, of course, lost to Michigan State. As I don't remember if it was on air, but I know for damn sure, Ronnie, I told you off air, this is exactly the kind of game that Michigan would lose.
Yeah.
Coming off a win over a ranked opponent, Michigan State losing to Rutgers, rivalry game for Harbaugh, who never seems to get his team up for rivalry games. It was kind of what I expected, man. They just came out flat. Michigan State came out like they wanted to play. Michigan didn't. That's kind of been the story of Harbaugh's career.
And, yeah, I mean, I know we talked about this before, but, it's still the weird COVID year, so I kind of agree with you. But I don't know where you go from here with Harbaugh. I mean, the seat was already pretty warm, at least. Got to think it's pretty hot at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he can rattle off a few more wins this year, they might give him some leniency, I think. If he only gets 2 wins this year, and those include losses to Michigan State and Ohio State, there's a real possibility of him getting fired. But again, if he can rattle off some wins, and the Big Ten's looking kind of shaky outside of Ohio, Big Ten's looking kind of shaky. So they might be able to get a few wins. Get a 500 record, and he'll be able to keep his job. But from there, it'll be, next year, if you get blown out at any point in time, let alone the last game of the year, then you're gone. But, we'll see what happens.
And he does make a lot of money. But, I mean, it's a contract. I mean, he's going to get paid out. So these guys still can get fired whenever, and they just get paid out for not doing anything.
Yeah. Then in other college football news this weekend, kind of the thing that everybody was looking at was the Clemson-Boston College game. It was much more of a game than I thought it would be for a while. It wasn't really till the third quarter when Clemson finally, actually they were down pretty big at halftime, I think. And then Clemson made a good second half comeback. I don't believe they covered the spread.
They did not. It was still like 24.5 or something like that. So they did not cover. Even it went down, 6 or 5 points when Lawrence wasn't going to play, but. Yeah,
against Boston College, who's, okay. They'll go 500 this year in the ACC. Take that for what that's worth.
Whatever that means,
yeah. But, now Clemson's got to bounce back. They're going to be without Lawrence again, and they're playing Notre Dame, who hasn't been overly impressive, but they're still a good team. They're still a top 5 team.
Better than Boston College. You would
definitely better than Boston College. So I am really curious to see, if they come out like they did against Boston College, against Notre Dame, they probably won't get a chance to come back like they did. So definitely want to keep an eye out. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about it Friday, but Clemson's still able to hang on. Of course, they're losing ground in the number 1 ranking to Bama, who Bama did what Bama does.
Bama things.
Yeah.
Train just keeps on a rolling.
And then just the other game I wanted to make note of that I watched a little bit of this weekend was Texas knocking off the undefeated Oklahoma State. So I don't know if they completed the circle of suck where everybody's beating everybody, but Big 12 not going to – there we go. Is Tech always in a perpetual state of backness?
Back as ever.
But, so that might eliminate any chance of the Big 12 getting a playoff team. I think kind of an undefeated Oklahoma State was their last shot. We'll see what happens. Maybe somebody can get make a good run and look impressive. But just want to make note of that. And, of course, as we stated at the beginning of the show, starting this week, starting on Wednesday, I'm so looking forward to this. Give me this every weekday, during the evening, night.
Yes.
We got an action on Wednesday. Got a full slate of games here. You got 3 p.m. Pacific time. Eastern Michigan at Kent State and Western Michigan at Akron. At 4 o'clock, we got Buffalo at Northern Illinois and Ohio at Central Michigan. We also got Ball State at Miami of Ohio at that time. And 5 o'clock, Bowling Green at Toledo. All those games will be on some sort of an ESPN network.
Let's go, Bowling Green.
Hook that shit into my veins. I love me some action.
Hey, never more than now have I been excited for action. We already talked about we're going pretty much football only here for a little bit because we just ended the NHL and NBA, so it's they're not going to restart for a while. The NHL, have they even said anything? I
haven't heard a thing from the NHL.
Well, this is kind of how they did their bubble too. They just kind of like sat back, and then it's like, all right, we're doing a bubble. Okay, cool.
Be here in a week, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But the less Gary Bettman says, usually the better it is for everyone involved. So.
Hey, look, I'll give him his props. The bubble was great.
The bubble was great. It worked.
It's the best thing Gary Bettman has done in his time as commissioner.
And he set it up to where he could not be booed. So, good for him.
Yep.
But my favorite story of the weekend was the Florida-Missouri game. Just because, well, not really because of the brawl. I mean, it definitely kind of escalated quickly. But mostly because Dan Mullen it was Halloween, rolled up to the post-game press conference with his costume on and just gave like normal coach answers about his thoughts on the fight. And it was pretty incredible.
I didn't see it. I was watching the play down the field to see if there was pass interference on the player who would make the catch. And then guys are like, I got told they hit him late. And you know what? I mean, our guys are going to defend their quarterback. And I think our guys started to do that. And then I think, unfortunately, you're at a point where, if that's a late hit and there's pushing and shoving and it was going to be like 4th down and we had to punt or one of those situations, it's one thing. But when the teams are leaving the field, you have kind of both teams running off the field at the same time. So I didn't see what was going on. I didn't see the late hit. I told afterwards that our guys thought that was the case, but obviously it wasn't from the officials' point of view. Then we went out there trying to get our guys off the field because it was getting testy. You know what I mean? We have a big game next week. And, I think it kept growing and growing. We're trying to push guys back. And, unfortunately, it kind of, trying to get in the middle, get the officials to get in the middle, trying to get them to get in the middle, get us in the middle, get their team off.
I love it. I did not know Dan Mullen was a Raider fan. Say, shout out to him.
Yeah, there you go. I want to know, would he have worn that had they lost?
Yeah, that is a question for the ages. But shout out to him. And then, the aftermath, a lot of suspensions. I think he got fined like $25,000 for
something like that, yeah.
SEC saying that he was kind of escalating things. I didn't see
and he was.
But, yeah. I've heard some of the stuff and comments. But, of course, because the Georgia game is next week, it's the classic, like you would do in the NCAA football games. You're suspended for a quarter. But
this guy's suspended for the first drive. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
First drive, then you're coming back in.
He's going to learn his lesson for sure.
That's right. Yeah, so that's true. Yeah, they do have the world's largest outdoor cocktail party coming out this weekend. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get a little bit more into that on Friday. But, Yeah, Dan won't look. Hey, respect to him. I do love when coaches do weird shit. So hey, I'm all for it. I wish he just had the. I wish he had the box and spoken like Jam.
Yeah, I know, the voice changer would have been incredible.
Yeah, exactly. I found the lack of holding calls disturbing.
This upsets me.
That's right.
But we'll see. Like I said, can't wait for Maction to come back.
Yes.
Gotta love it, especially right now. You know, we're getting into a little bit of a lean part of the sports calendar. So the world, this is what the game's been missing right now. This is what we need. A hero for our time and place.
That's right. One other thing before we get into the fight, Doctor, we do have to address, being that we are, of course, the NASCAR show of record. We did have the final, I guess you would call it the penultimate race of the season for NASCAR this week. And it's funny. The last 3 weeks, I've kind of always said, like, unless Harvick really screws it up, he should be in the final. Well, Kevin Harvick really screwed it up. There's kind of no other. Yeah, he despite having massive lead with playoff points and how well he's done this year. Nine races won, tons of top 10 finishes, tons of stage victories, whatnot. He finished, I believe it was 17th. It was either 16th or 17th this weekend in Martinsville. He missed the cut. He managed to get eliminated. Yeah, just outside. So going into
this is why we can't have nice things, Bakersfield.
No, that's not. Hey, look, in the post-race interview, he said, "Look, I didn't get done these races. I had my chances. I didn't make it happen." He got second in the first race, which was in Kansas, 16th in Texas, where he slid into the wall, 17th this week in Martinsville. So yeah, his own words, he didn't get done. He blew it. So this week in Phoenix, we'll have the championship race between. Everybody will be racing, but kind of the only four that people really are going to care about are Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and Denny Hamlin.
All right, first of all, anyone but Logano. I hate that guy. Second of all, I'm going with Hamlin because he's been wire to wire right there with Harvick.
Sure.
Just putting together a great season.
Sure.
But
God, I should have known that was coming.
Clap back, Harvick, and win this last one. Go out on top. I mean, yes, obviously he made a lot of money, had a good season, great season.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate with this. It's kind of like the baseball playoffs, though. You distill it down to this little sample size, and things like this happen. But it does suck because he had a really good year.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can be mad at the format, but look, every driver knew the format. Every driver raced by the same format, so you didn't get it done. And unfortunately, a great season is going to be all for naught. I almost wonder, like, what if he just takes out the other four? Because I mean, what does he care, right?
I'm taking you to hell with me.
Exactly. Just wreck all four drivers. I wonder what happens then.
Well, I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, maybe not the best look, but that's my guy.
There we go. But so we'll have more on that on the championship race next week. Again, they will be in Phoenix on Sunday. In the final race of the year.
All right, and with that, we got about 15 minutes left here, so let's take a look at the fights. We did have a fight night over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Some notable news there, a couple of the fights. So up for the fight, Doctor, and let's dive into the bad boy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the main event of the evening.
the heavyweight champion of the world,
Yes, it's all about that woo.
Beautiful.
Fight.
Yeah,
Doctor.
we did. So we did have a fight night this past weekend on Saturday night on ESPN Plus. Most notable for the main event being the final, I guess we could say the final UFC fight of Anderson Silva's career. He goes out there against Uriah Hall. Silva looked okay for the first few rounds, but Uriah Hall's kind of notably been gun shy in a lot of his fights, kind of real hesitant, doesn't kind of unload like we've seen him do in the past. Winds up getting in the fourth round, and Silva just gets TKO'd. It was a sad ending, especially because Uriah Hall, as soon as Herb Dean stopped the fight, Uriah Hall like dropped to his knees in front of Silva and just started crying, saying, "I'm sorry, you're still the best. I love you." Kind of very emotional ending. Silva with just a lot of he's always been a pretty humble guy, just a lot of good words to say about Uriah Hall, saying, "Hey man, use this,
Sometime
go."
you wing, sometime you'll wing.
Exactly, yes.
Sometimes you probably should retire, but
you should-
stay
you
out there
should
too
have-
long.
should have
It's a
retired a
shine
long-
off of an all-time great, but
Should have retired a long time ago. Yeah, there you go. So you can see some of the images there. And then afterwards, Anderson Silva, during his interview, sat down and Michael Bisping asked him, "Is this the last time we're going to see you fight?" And in true fighter style, he said, "I don't know. I'm going to go home and think about it." Afterwards, when Dana White was asked about it, he kind of had some interesting words of his own. He kind of said, "Look, I should have never let Silva fight this fight." Basically saying, any promotion that
he ain't lying.
that will sign him to a fight kind of should be ashamed of themselves right now. He's not Anderson Silva anymore.
It's a shadow of his former self, but I mean,
Yeah.
one of the all-time greats.
Oh,
Sure.
undoubtedly.
1,000%.
Undoubtedly, yeah.
That's why it's just like a bummer to see this kind of playing out the string of just like maybe just sit it out. Like you're still going into the Hall of Fame and all this stuff. Just like it sucks to just see you get run out there and just get whooped on.
Yeah, I know we were testing about it a lot Saturday night. And kind of my biggest fear is he does like what Ric Flair did. Retire from WWE, and then 4 months later he shows up in TNA, and it's just a shell of his former self. Yeah. So I'm just worried that Bellator is going to throw a blank check at him, especially because Bellator's middleweight division is very weak. So it's they could sign Silva, and he'll rattle off some wins, oh look, it's the career resurgence of Anderson Silva. Or if he does lose to some of the scrubs there, it's oh, well, see, now our guy beat Anderson Silva, so he's on the way up.
Either way, yeah, they can totally afford to just throw him up against some, cans and then sell some pay-per-views. Whatever happens, they can promote it, either direction. But
yeah, I'm afraid that's going to happen. I really don't. You hate telling a guy hey man, I know this is how you earn money and you shouldn't do it anymore, but you shouldn't do it anymore. It's just not there. I hope this was his last fight. Definitely not a way I wanted to see him to go out, but I could have said that for any fight over the last probably 7 years. So, again, hopefully he stays retired. Uriah Hall, kind of wonder what he's going to go from here. That guy's got all the tools in the world, but he's just so gun-shy. He's afraid to pull the trigger. I don't know what's going to happen with him. In fact, there's actually some news that broke also on Saturday about the middleweight division that the middleweight champion Israel Adesanya is going to go up and challenge for the light heavyweight belt against
kind of
Jan
thought that was going
Blachowicz.
to happen anyway. But
Yeah, and I mean it's the case where kind of in the middleweight division, Robert Whittaker is the only real contender, and he even himself said recently I'm not ready to face Adesanya again. The light heavyweight division, there's nobody really there. That's a super light division, so. Adesanya going up challenging for the belt, I get it. That's definitely good.
I mean, the dude's athletic enough. He's pretty big, so I don't think he's going to have a problem, frame-wise. I figured this was going to happen, but yeah, like you said, just a lot of movement all at one time in that division.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens from there. Other fights we want to talk about. I know Cease wants to get a Bryce Mitchell. I'll just make a real quick mention of America's sweetheart, Greg Hardy, getting the TKO victory over Maurice Green. It was pretty much kind of the sad state of heavyweight fights that you expect outside of 2 or 3 fighters where it's just after 2 minutes, Maurice Green was gassed. I will give all the credit in the world to Hardy. He has taken this very seriously. He's taken MMA very seriously. His skills have improved a ton since his first fights. He can punch. It's just a shame that he punches women too. But look, he's taking it seriously. He definitely earned the win this week. Still kind of hasn't really beaten anybody. I think Dana's going to keep feeding him cans for a little bit to just build it up. But he got the TKO win. And as we said in the co-main event, Bryce Mitchell, the featherweight up-and-comer, gets the win over Andre Feely by unanimous decision. Look, Mitchell looked good. Great display of takedowns. I think he wound up with 8 or 9 takedowns during the fight. Did a great job of maintaining control on Feely on the ground. There were some times where Feely was able to get back up, but then Mitchell just kind of took him down right away. It was clear Mitchell had a game plan. He didn't want to stand with Feely. and I don't blame him. Feely can strike. Kind of the only real knock I have on Mitchell is at no point in time did I think he was anywhere close to finishing the fight. He would get the takedown, stay on top, kind of work for a position, maybe throw in a submission attempt every now and then. Nothing serious. Never really had Feely in trouble, but he absolutely earned the win. I'm kind of curious to see where he goes now. I imagine his next fight will probably be against the top 10 guy in the featherweight division. Mitchell could be a problem in the future. I really think he could. I don't think he is right now. I don't think he's a serious problem now. I think if you put him up against like the top 6, 7 guys, I don't know how well he does. But give him a top 10 fight. I think he's earned it. He's what, 14-0, 15-0. He's definitely earned it at this point in time. So we'll see what happens. Okay, he broke his hand. Okay.
Got that Cease, our insider.
There we go.
Cook him to the bone insider. And then shout out to Hutch also. I believe this is in reference to Greg Hardy. Yes, America's sweetheart, Greg Hardy.
Yes, that's true. He does. But no, all in all, it was a good showing for Bryce Mitchell. Again, like I said, I think he's going to get a top 10 fight this next time around. You're looking, especially if he broke his hand, probably not for another 5-6 months until that happens. But all in all, it was a decent night of fights. Some interesting knockouts, including one that was, I don't know if they officially declared a knockout or submission, but it was from a slam, where one guy got slammed, and I think he maybe messed up his ribs when he hit the ground, and the ref called it right there. So not something you see often, but still interesting fights, good fights. Again, if you got time, check it out. Of course, UFC will be coming back this week, like they have been every week, with another round of fights this weekend. I think on paper, this next weekend's card is not necessarily that great, but like we've always said, sometimes those turn out to be the best cards. So
we'll get something out of it.
Yeah, we'll have more on that on Friday. But again, shout out to Anderson Silva. Please retire. Please don't come
away.
Back.
Just walk away.
If you want to open a gym, be a coach, absolutely go for it. 100% behind you. Please do not go to Bellator and try and extend a career that it's just not there, man.
And that's really what made it more kind of sad and awkward for me. I don't think Hall is thinking in these terms at this moment. Is just like a guy that was like an idol of his, sort of in the twilight. But the fact they had this kind of emotional moment at the end, it's just like, all right, this guy clearly has been a fan of yours forever.
Sure.
And I mean, most UFC fans have been this guy is a legend, but it's just dwindling right now. Do we need to see him fight again? Really, we don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. I guess one thing that I think I told you about this, or maybe I tweeted. I don't remember. If there's one thing that I wish could have happened for this last fight, is that it was in front of a crowd, because Anderson deserves to go out in front of people for this fight. Get that big final ovation, whether it be a win or a loss.
Kansas City.
Yeah. yes, that MMA hotbed of Kansas City.
Well, when they're back on the road,
Thank you, Uncasville, Connecticut. Again, I wish he could have gone out, again in front of a crowd, get the rightful ovation that he deserves. It will be kind of sad not hearing. One thing I always love about Anderson Silva was he used the DMX version of "Ain't No Sunshine" for his entrance.
Yes.
Anybody that uses any DMX, I'm all for.
I'm in. Yes.
But again, if you've only seen Anderson Silva over the last 7 years, do yourself a favor. Go back and check out. Even before he got to the UFC, Silva kind of had this mythos about him. But then once he got into the UFC, I mean, especially the fights against Sandman Irvin, where he did the caught the kick and punched him straight in the face and knocked him out. Of course, the Forrest Griffin fight, any of the Rich Franklin fights, the Dan Henderson fight, the Lyoto Machida fight, or not Lyoto, Vitor Belfort. I mean, just so many fights. Go back and check this guy out when he was the champ for so many years. Definitely go back and check this out.
To the point where no one could hit him, and he knew no one could hit him.
Literally nobody could hit. If you swung at him, he just went to the Matrix and watched your punch go by his face.
Which to the chagrin of some fans, he would just come out in the first round sometimes and not do anything and just
put his hands down. Yeah. Well, that was always his thing. Was he wanted to, do you? I mean, he was a great counter puncher, and that's what he wanted to do was get you so pissed off that you were just swinging wildly, and then he'd duck and then throw a quick jab, and now you're on the ground and you're screwed.
Yeah. Couple more comments from Brad on the fights just to wrap that up. His finishing move is the Hardy face.
Hardy face.
I like the inclusion of the trademark. I mean, if
Yeah,
what
that's nice.
said, at least legally he's taking care of his intellectual property, which is
Patent
good.
pending, yes.
And then I kind of like this idea: UFC Senior Tour, the Invalid division, except they sit facing each other Indian style and hug it out.
Oh God. Well, hey, maybe we could get that. Maybe that's the next season of Ultimate Fighter. It's the senior circuit.
Dana, it's time to change the game again, baby. We got the women's divisions running.
That's right.
Senior tour, the Champions Tour.
Oh man, I'm just picturing all the. That would actually just be really sad to watch. Now, like the more I think about it.
Also, speaking of Champions Tour, unrelated, well, sort of related. Shout out to Big Dog John Daly. I don't think I still have his video here, but he is back, and I think this is like his 4th or 5th event since he announced he's going through, cancer treatment. So, he was kind of in the mix there in the early days. I didn't see what happened. It's not like I'm glued to the Champions Tour, but always love some John Daly.
Oh, he is. John Daly, I don't want to say walked, stumbled so Bryson DeChambeau could run, drunken stupid so DeChambeau could run. DeChambeau, by the way, shout out SI cover, Bryson DeChambeau, Valley Boy.
Yes.
Pride of
Breaking
Odessa,
the game.
and his clubs by leaning on them.
Oh, that is true. I do have that one.
Look at that. Look at man, it's an absolute unit.
The size of the lad alone. Whoa, man, take it easy.
But yeah, all right, I see we are coming up against it here the last couple minutes. Ronnie, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
No, thank you guys as always for tuning in, commenting. Cease, didn't get your call, bro. But we've made it 32 episodes since you appeared on this program. So the curse is broken.
Curse
Dodgers
is
won the
lifted.
World Series.
Yeah.
It's all good. And also thank you, Maction.
Yes.
Bring back the Maction.
Yeah.
But you guys be safe. Like I said, get out there, rock the vote. We don't want P. Diddy getting upset. Nobody wants an upset P. Diddy. Nobody likes that.
Nobody. It's not good for anybody.
Yeah. Take that.
Puffy.
No, thank you guys. Tyler, any final thoughts, last words here?
Now, just look out for action on Wednesday. We'll probably be distracted before our show with watching some action.
Yeah.
But definitely thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you all had a safe and fun Halloween weekend. Stick around here on the network. We got the book club for TV shows with Patrice coming up. So keep an eye out for that. We love you guys. As always, keep the fire.
Keep the fire.